It began on a warm Friday evening, as golden sunlight poured lazily through the lace curtains of Mira and Ryan's home. They had been married for 7 years, their bond deep and curious, filled with quiet passion and a shared sense of adventure. Mira was radiant, confident, mysterious, and warm-hearted. Ryan, her husband, adored her in ways words never quite captured. But beneath their peaceful routine lived a secret desire, unspoken for a long time. Ryan had always admired Mira's charm, not just for himself, but how it lit up the room. He noticed how others were drawn to her. The way she laughed with a soft touch on someone's arm, or the glance she held just a second too long. And rather than be jealous, Ryan found it thrilling, forbidden, tempting. So one evening, as they shared wine under the stars on their balcony, he gently whispered his secret fantasy to her. "What if," he said, brushing a lock of her hair from her face, "you let others adore you the way I do? Just for one night. Not strangers, just my friends. People who already admire you." Mira raised an eyebrow, amused, shocked, and curious all at once. "You mean?" "Yes," Ryan smiled. "A night of stories, closeness, love, maybe even temptation, but always under our roof, under our rules. I just want to see you radiant, desired. I want us to experience something unforgettable." She was silent for a moment. Then slowly she smiled. "Let's invite them." Ryan called his 3 closest friends, Zion, the soft-spoken artist, Rafi, the witty engineer with a hidden poetic soul, and Arav, a musician with eyes that always held a bit too much emotion. They all accepted, not quite knowing the real purpose behind the dinner, but eager, curious. The night arrived. Mira dressed in a deep red silk gown, not overly revealing, but enough to stir the air when she walked. Her perfume lingered like a secret. The table was set with candles, wine flowed freely, and the atmosphere quickly turned from friendly to charged. Laughter came easily. Old stories were shared. But with each passing moment, each glance Mira exchanged with the men held a layer of suggestion, of mystery. And Ryan watched, calm, smiling, sipping his wine, admiring the beauty of it all. As the evening deepened, the group moved to the living room. The lights dimmed, music played softly in the background. Mira, sitting between Rafi and Arav on the couch, leaned in for a whispered joke, and her fingers brushed Arav's knee. Rafi touched her wrist briefly. Zion was painting a quick sketch of her from across the room, his hands trembling with intensity. Mira's eyes flicked toward Ryan, who gave her the slightest nod. And so began a night of lingering touches, slow dances, shared whispers. It wasn't about lust, not yet. It was about attention, about letting someone feel utterly seen, adored. Mira was magnetic. She told stories, she asked deep questions, she listened and touched and smiled in ways that made each man feel he was the only one in the room. It was romantic, daring, intimate. But as midnight approached, something changed. Ryan excused himself to the kitchen for more wine. The laughter continued, but as he stepped back into the hallway, he paused. Voices. "I can't keep doing this," he heard. It was Arav's voice. "It's been 3 years," Rafi said. "We swore we wouldn't tell him." Zion added quietly, "He deserves to know the truth." Ryan's heart pounded. What truth? He pushed the door open and stood silently in the doorway. The 3 men froze. Mira, confused, looked between them. "Tell me," Ryan said.
"Now."
Rafi looked down. Arav closed his eyes. And Zion, the most honest of them, spoke. "Mira, she's not just your wife to us." "What do you mean?" Mira whispered. Zion turned to her. "Mira, 3 years ago, before you married Ryan, you and I, we were in love. And after the wedding, it didn't stop." Mira's breath caught. "Zion." Rafi nodded slowly. "And it wasn't just him. I loved you too. Still do." Arav added, "We made a pact, all of us, to stay in Ryan's life, to love you in silence, because we knew he adored you. But tonight, it's all too much. We can't keep pretending." The room fell silent. Mira looked at Ryan, tears in her eyes.
He didn't yell.
He didn't collapse. Instead, Ryan smiled. A strange, sad smile. "I always wondered if love could be shared." And then he quietly said, "But I never imagined it had already been stolen." He turned, walked toward the door, and disappeared into the night.